Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Doreen here on Monday morning, August the 7th. Well, the beginning of the work week will feature a severe thunderstorm threat in much of the Mid-Atlantic region. That includes the D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City corridor. The threat exists primarily for some damaging wind gusts later on today into tonight. Certainly can be some isolated tornadoes. Heavy rain, of course, is a likelihood as well, with the severe thunderstorm activity that is likely to develop primarily during the afternoon and evening hours. You cannot rule out a strong thunderstorm during the morning and midday hours, but the greatest threat appears to be, let's say, about 1 or 2 p.m. on into the late evening hours. And again, damaging wind gusts are a real concern throughout the Mid-Atlantic region later today into tonight. Let's start off by looking at the latest radar loop. This is from the College of DuPage weather website, and an interesting feature here can be seen with this little twirl right here in the radar echoes. And indeed, there is a surface wave of low pressure out over the Ohio Valley, all supported by a very strong system in the upper part of the atmosphere. We started kind of focusing in on this Monday event during the middle part of last week, when we saw that upper air pattern feature quite an anomalous strong upper level low for this time of the year, with a lot of cool air aloft. All it takes a little bit of daytime heating, and the shower and thunderstorm activity will really explode over the next few hours. And again, this is a surface low pressure area causing this little twirl and this swirl in the radar echoes, and aloft strong upper level feature as well, and that all increases upward motion right in the Mid-Atlantic region later today into tonight, all increasing the chance for some severe thunderstorm activity. Well, before we break down the ingredients involved for this severe thunderstorm threat, let's take a look here at the forecast map by NOAA's Storm Prediction Center. They're based out in Norman, Oklahoma, right in the middle of Tornado Alley, and they have pretty much the entire D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor region in an enhanced threat for severe thunderstorms. And this encompasses not only the Mid-Atlantic region, but down through the central and western Carolinas into the eastern part of the Tennessee Valley. A very active weather day in much of the eastern third of the nation to begin the work week. Again, damaging wind gusts is probably the primary threat in terms of severe thunderstorm parameters. There can be some isolated tornadoes as well, but damaging wind gusts seem to be setting up as the primary threat, with increasing winds at multiple layers of the atmosphere. We'll kind of take a look at that over the next couple of minutes. Well, let's now take a look at some of the forecast maps and some of the ingredients involved. And this is the 500 millibar height anomaly pattern from the NAM model, last night's conventional NAM model here at 0Z. And this is a very impressive upper level low for this time of the year. Whenever you have a feature like this during the month of August, it leads to quite a bit of instability, because this generally represents some colder air in the upper part of the atmosphere, and certainly the sun is still very strong this time of the year, and as soon as it heats that lower part of the atmosphere, you quickly destabilize the atmosphere, and this will slide slowly to the east over the next several hours, and the bottom line will be an increasingly unstable atmosphere right in this region, right here in the Mid-Atlantic region, increasing upward motion out ahead of that incoming upper level feature here. And we just go through the day into the early part of the evening. This is the 8 p.m. forecast map. Very, very volatile weather situation here with that kind of an upper level trough. Again, colder air in the upper part of the atmosphere, a little bit of daytime heating over the next few hours, and you can see showers and thunderstorms breaking out pretty much anytime from midday on. The primary risk period will probably be about 2 p.m. on through 9-10 p.m. tonight, again in the Mid-Atlantic region, with a lot of upward motion thanks to the upper level feature here. And we go all the way into the overnight hours. It's slow moving, and here we are all the way into Tuesday morning, still kind of under the influence of that upper level feature. So this threat will continue through the night in much of the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, again, I mentioned damaging wind gusts, probably the primary threat we have to watch out for later today into tonight. And one of the reasons is jet streak activity. This is looking way up at the atmosphere, 250 millibar level, the upper third of the atmosphere, let's say upper fourth of the atmosphere. And this area right here is kind of a developing jet stream at that part of the atmosphere, 250 millibars. This is from the forecast map of last night's 0Z NAM model run. Move forward here, and this drives to the North Andes, this upper level jet stream. This is by later on in the day, late in the afternoon and into the early evening hours, and this enhances the upward motion. This is a very impressive jet streak aloft here into the overnight hours, and then finally we get into the early morning hours on Tuesday. So you have a jet streak aloft combined with that cool air in the upper part of the atmosphere, that upper level low moving across the Ohio Valley, and all that will tend to feed fuel to the fire, enhance upward motion in the Mid-Atlantic region. And there is your threat for severe weather later today into tonight. Now let's kind of shift gears here and go to the high resolution version of the NAM model. This is also from 0Z, but the prior couple of forecast loops are from the conventional NAM model. This is the higher resolution NAM model. I think it has a pretty good handle on developing squall line situation. First of all, we did have some showers and thunderstorms move through the eastern part of the Mid-Atlantic region in the overnight hours into the early morning hours. Still some decent amount of rainfall over the Delmarva Peninsula. Now that will push off to the east, and it's over the Ohio Valley and the western part of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, that will certainly be focused in on over the next few hours here in terms of the development of the incoming showers and thunderstorms. And here we go into the mid-morning hours and then into the midday hours right here. You can see some of these thunderstorms developing into kind of a squall line right here, especially south of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border by later on in the afternoon. This is a very scary looking line here. Whenever you see kind of a bowing of the radar echoes like this, that kind of insinuates that winds are a little bit stronger right in this part of that squall line and kind of pushing out ahead of causing a bowing in the radar echoes. And this, to me, spells damaging wind gusts because there's such strong winds right in this region that this is a very vulnerable area for some potential damaging wind gusts later today because of these bowing echoes. And certainly cannot rule out possibility of an isolated tornado or two in this pattern. Very explosive atmosphere, and you can see that right here again. You can envision maybe 60-mile-per-hour winds kind of causing in this part of that squall line, causing a bowing of the radar echoes. So right in here is the potential for some of those damaging wind gusts. But a very impressive line from Pennsylvania-Maryland border down south through the D.C. area into central Virginia, and certainly this is nothing to sneeze at as well across central Pennsylvania at this time, and it all swings to the east. And this is, of course, just one forecast run here from 0Z last night, but it outlines the potential for some damaging wind gusts. So certainly everybody has to be on the lookout, monitor the radar echoes over the next several hours, but a severe thunderstorm threat throughout the Mid-Atlantic region later today into tonight. The primary concern, damaging wind gusts, but certainly there can be some isolated tornadoes, and flash flooding is always a possibility because any one of these showers or storms can produce some heavy rainfall and some high rainfall amounts in a short period of time. So that's it for now. Stay tuned to Arcfield Weather later in the day for an update. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.